Hi everyone. Hari Om, Namaste, my other selves. So I'm in India. This is Malakshmi in India. I hope this is streaming okay. So I'm testing the video here to see if that's the case in Rishikesh, India, at the foothills of the Himalayas. So I'm going to do a short video and see how it goes. Okay? I've been here for about 2 months, and this is the place where sadhus, babas, rishis, many spiritual leaders came to do their tapasya, their meditations, their penance, if you will, their yagyas, service, all that has kind of the same meaning. It's their spiritual practices that they need to do or they want to do to move ahead. The topic today is, why did the multiverse happen? And I want to share what I have received at this time in of course, it's my interpretation, because that's what I'm telling you. And it's not just my interpretation, but it's all the information I received from many sources culminated and into one idea, but mainly from what I've received from information from my higher selves. So notice the topic is not how the multiverse was created. Multiverse meaning many universes, many dimensions also in those universes. So we're not asking the question of how it's created. That's a whole nother topic. Basically, you have all the physicists talking about that. We're talking about the why. Why did the creator of this universe create? Assuming that creator is conscious, and that's what you would be assuming. Not saying that creation itself is of the same consciousness. Okay, the created or manifest universe is not have a consciousness. I'm speaking to the agnostics and atheists. You're correct in thinking that there's not a unified intelligence in all of creation. Actually, that's part of why it was created. So what happened is that there was a consciousness, one consciousness, and it is a very wise consciousness. And basically, it became bored and wanted a companion. A companion is more correct. So, because one companion simply would not be enough. However, so it wants companions, but there is no one else. It's only itself, and it's just there's only one. So what it had to do it wanted companions, and it wanted something to do in eternity. Imagine being in eternity, like just being like, okay, what am I gonna do now? I love myself, yes. I know that I have everything I need. I'm one, I'm whole, but there's more. I want there to be more. So what it did is it created more of itself. So to do that, since there can only be one, essentially, what it did was some people identify this as the Big Bang, which may or may not be the case, but it exploded itself into infinite number of parts, and we'll get back to where they to say a lot for now. Many parts, and it dropped a veil of forgetfulness in between each of those parts, so that those parts could think that they were individuals, and they could then interact. You know, they could do things. They could play games, Leela. They could grow, they could expand. So, but the veil of forgetfulness has to be dropped between each one. This is the way that the one itself could become many parts. And from that, essentially, if you think about it, you created a child. You created an aspect of it. It let go of an aspect of itself. It's still connected to the self, but it created a veil of forgetfulness around it. That then so many things could be accomplished from there. So many games can be played. Think about the video games, you know, with the controller, the Godhead. You know, if you think of the oversoul or a higher aspect of oneself being the controller of the video game, and the avatar being the one it's kind of projected itself into. You know how people will get lost in a video game? Well, we have done that in a big way, and the video games are just a representation of that, of how, or showing us how we get lost in the world of illusion. And so so easily forget who we are. So does that kind of answer, like in a very short way, how and why? Doesn't do justice to the why. You know, this short conversation doesn't do justice to the why that the Creator did that. But it's so simple, really. If you think of yourself as a vast God, and just put yourself in that perspective, just ever so slightly, you can see that in eternity, things can get a little stale. You may want to do more. You may want to have more. You may want to interact more. So all things need to happen. All things need to have happened. Anything that can be imagined has happened, and more. So this gives our God self the opportunity to grow, to expand, to explore the edges of the universe. That is not really even a universe. It's a little playground. It's a little video game. Big video game. Depends on whose perspective you're talking about. So, and we have all these great interactions that really teach us, you know, how to love. If you look at the Old Testament and the Bible, even in the Christian Bible, how the God back then, just before 2,000 years ago, was quite harsh. But if you look at a certain point in the New Testament, that God has become quite loving and great and full of grace. So God itself has evolved, is evolving, and continues to evolve. And that's what we're here to help it do. Who is our higher self, who is us, all one put back together, without the veil of forgetfulness. So it's a wonderful play, and in Hinduism they call it Leela, the play of the gods, and that's what we're doing. So just try to remember that when it gets tough. What you're going through may seem tragic to you here, but to your higher self, to the God that you are, it's not a big deal. You're learning for yourself. You're learning to bring yourself to remember that higher self, that God self, who you are. I'm not saying that you are the Creator, the one. You are an aspect of the Creator, and there's levels of us, of our incarnations, that we ascend to and return to and remember. So hence the meditation. Ask yourself who you are. Who are you? Remember who you are. Start to remember, because now it's, as you hear everybody talking about, well, almost everybody in the spiritual circles, it's time to start remembering who you are. We have scoped the vastness of this universe. Even Shiva was said to go into the realms, the end, the dark places of the universe, the mad zones, and he went mad. And, well, that was Ea, excuse me, who some believe is Shiva. And, you know, gone mad. Haven't a lot of us gone mad at times and reached into some realm of the universe that is dark and crazy and like, and or looked at it and said, this is just nuts. Some more than others. But it's time now we've gone out to the edges of this universe in this cycle, and this, like, I think it's what, 200 plus thousand year cycle, probably more. And we've gone out to the edge of the universe that we've created thus far. It's time to come back for this cycle. And so we're right on the edge of that, of remembering who we are. So start to remember who you are, Shiva, Shakti, old girl, Shiva, old boy. Start to remember who you are. It's just time to start waking up. I'm here going, come on, let's wake up. As Ma Lakshmi saying, come on, let's wake up. Just gently wake up. Start to remember who you are, because it's time. Okay, my other selves, gods and goddesses, blessings, and I hope this video reaches you like with some words. Okay, have a great day. Shubharatri, in Hindi that means have a good night, or Acha din, have a good day to you, wherever you are in the world. Namaste. Like and subscribe. Bye.